currently in this position here with NVDA. I bought one share for $150. I have my stop loss down here, my target price right up there, and we're gonna see what we can do with this position here. I'm trailing my stop loss as I go, so I'm trying to see if I can get some gains here on this position with NVIDIA at $151 a share. The MACD is closing up already right there, as you can see. Just gotta give it some time to breathe, you know, a little bit of time and little pullbacks. That's how it is here with these long positions, you know. You have to know where to let it breathe a little bit so that you can actually, you know, implement the plan to go forth with this position. So that's what it's looking like right now. As you can see, at one share at 159, I was trying to buy some options for this, but they didn't have 0-day expirations, which is for today. So I played out this move right here on NVIDIA with one share. So all I did was right click and I created a new order right there with the TP, and I just put it in, and I'm trailing my stop loss as this is moving up. But with these type of plays, it has to be a little bit like you have to give it some space so it can breathe, and then it does pullbacks and then goes forward and back, and then you just keep trailing it. Right there is at a consolidation stage right here, if you can see. So you see this right here, right there is consolidating. It's just got to break out of that consolidation stage so that it can actually keep moving up to the upside. Right now this has 45 mil, free float is 23 billion, and the market cap is 353 trillion. So these are a lot different, you know. They have a lot of volume, and it's just a different factor for on the daily time frame here. That's what it looks like. And on the 15-second time frame, which is where I trade out of right now, this is where I'm trading out of right now. You trade out of the 1-minute time frame as well, so you can get a better visual of these. These move a little slower, so it's good to have it on the little higher time frame, 1 minute or the 5-minute time frame. For me, that kind of looks pretty good, and so that's kind of how I view this type of momentum here, because it moves a lot slower than small caps, you know, and they go for a little longer time. So we're just gonna keep working with this here, and there's that right there. These are very expensive, you know. I wish they had some options, 0-day expiration, so I wouldn't have to hold them overnight or for 2 days or for 3 or 4 days, you know, swing trades like that. But you see that right there? So that's already like trying to push down. The MACD is still up. The volume's coming in, still pushing to the upside right there. So I was just testing this out. It's a little different because with small caps you need to have at least like 5,000 shares to make something out of whatever you're doing there, and 10,000 shares, you know. So this is something different that I'm trying out here. Buying shares of NVIDIA or Tesla or whatever's moving up, you know. So I check the pre-market. I have my pre-market low and my pre-market high, as you can see right here. And I started marking it out there. As soon as it broke out of this resistance right here, that's when I jumped into this position, just like that. The first one that I took didn't work out very good, but this one seems to be moving to the upside very well. So now I'm going to be trailing my stop here right below this candle. Even though 63 cents that I'm making there, but it's climbing up. It do take a little longer, so this video is going to be a little longer, but it's a different experience of what I was working with, and so we're going to be able to see what we can do with this, you know. Trying something out new, and we'll see how this plays out to the upside there. I see how my target is right there, but I see this thing still has a lot of more potential. The MACD is still curling up to the upside, the volume still coming in. So I'm just gonna move my TP here to the upside right there, so that way it won't hit it and then, you know, stop me out. And take my TP, my profit. So on my first trade, I did 150 at 95, and then I bought there and I sold there. So that was a loser there, a little loser, but that's what I'm going to be doing. Here I have working two orders, so that's working towards the upside there, and that's pretty good. You know, that's kind of how this works. So if I wanted to create a new order and buy a new one here, all I would have to do is just go here and then create a new order, and then you just input it right there at whatever you want it to be. But if you want it just to be like say buy one more of NVDA, right, you could do that. So now I have two. So now I have two of those. Let's see, that's at 153, right? So if I wanted to buy it here, let's see this. Okay, so I have one stop loss right here, right? I have one there. These are my two orders right here, so I'm trailing my position right here. These are my two TPs right here, my two targets. So as this is moving forward and it keeps pumping to the upside, I'm gonna keep moving my stop losses to the upside there. See that there? So that's kind of what I'm gonna be doing, and we're gonna be keeping an eye on this position here. This is my stop right here. So what I want to do, I'm gonna raise it up and just follow with my other one there. So there you go. So that's one right there. I have my stop loss just right down here. My two TPs are right up here. My targets 153 and 152. So see how that one's already like coming down to the downside there? That's one right there. So whatever I'm willing to risk on this move here is what I'm gonna be doing there. So that's my stop loss there. It might stop me out to my first one there. It really wants to come down around me right here, but we're gonna see. Coming to the downside, so it hit my first stop loss right there, and we're gonna see what it wants to do on the second one there. Seems like it's climbing down, as you can see already, but so what happens there is I had 151 and it sold here when it stopped me out at 151.31. So it's coming down and it stopped me out already. See that? So that was both of my positions there as I try to move my stop loss to give it a little more breathing space. That's how that worked out. So I bought at 150, 195, bought at 151, and it sold at 151.31. just like that. This is coming to the downside now, so the potential that I had coming up did not reach. On the daily time frame, on the 15-second time frame here, we can see that the EMA, the 200 moving average, is just coming down to the downside already. See that? It hit resistance here. Once it hit resistance right there, it came down. And that was the end of that. I'm going to show you what happened here. So I used a lot of my position there to test that out. But so NVDA, I'm going to show you right here what happened with NVIDIA. So what's important is that you're able to manage your risk. That's what is very important, with whatever you're trading. Make sure you're comfortable with the risk that you're, the stop loss had to be huge in order for that thing's not to stop me out, And so I bought NVIDIA here at 149.96 and it stopped me out at 149.75. I bought here, stopped me out there, and stopped me out there. So overall, NVIDIA was a 52-cent loser because I was up like $1.50. So that's kind of how that worked there. And 52 cents. And the positions was like $300 position. So that's what's important, that you're able to manage your risk on whatever you're trading, and just get used to knowing when to stop and when to sell and what you're comfortable with risking. So there you go. There's just 2 cents on trading shares on NVIDIA.